Welcome to the ultimate MotoGP update where the speed never stops and the stakes are higher than ever. First up, we are talking about Jack Miller and his incredible fight to get back to full strength. After enduring 8 separate collarbone fractures, he describes the bone as being shaped like a zigzag, causing a massive functional imbalance. He has spent the entire winter working with a trainer to compensate for that damage. And now, he is ready to push for his first points of the season on that new Yamaha V4 machine.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the Pop Sockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Next, we take a closer look at the grid of Alex Rins. 3 years after his devastating crash at Mugello, he has revealed the shocking reality that his shin still has not healed, and his tibia is not properly attached to the bone. Despite living with that daily pain and the uncertainty surrounding his future in the sport, he continues to show up and give it everything on the track. It is a testament to his sheer love for racing that he keeps pushing forward despite these long-term physical consequences. Then, we dive into the massive upheaval facing the paddock as everyone braces for the 2027 rules overhaul. With the switch to 850cc engines and the ban on ride height devices, teams like Yamaha are in the midst of a desperate crisis while trying to adapt their new V4 concept. Meanwhile, young stars like Pedro Acosta are sounding the alarm about the rising danger of increased cornering speeds, warning that the intense calendar and constant pressure could lead to shorter careers for even the most talented riders. Finally, we have bad news for the fans of Maverick Vinales as he is officially ruled out for the Spanish MotoGP. His ongoing shoulder recovery from a crash last July has forced him to prioritize long-term health over this weekend's race in Jerez. With his teammate Paul Espargaro also sidelined, the team is forced to run a single bike while they hope for a return in Le Mans. If you want to keep up with every twist and turn from the track, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell to never miss an update. Ever wonder what it's actually like to ride a MotoGP bike when your own body is fighting against you? We often talk about the engineering marvels of these machines, but the biological wear and tear on these riders is something else entirely. Take Jack Miller. He's currently staring down a reality that would have most of us reaching for the ibuprofen just to get out of bed. He's revealed that his right collarbone looks like a literal zigzag, the result of 8 separate fractures and multiple surgeries. It's a brutal reminder that behind the visor, these guys are putting their bodies through a meat grinder. Miller explained that years of breaking, plating, and replating that bone created a structural mess. Because the bone isn't straight anymore, the tendons don't distribute tension correctly. They all just bunch up in one spot. It got so bad that during testing with Yamaha, he found out his right shoulder was operating at only 50% capacity compared to his left. Think about that. You're hitting 200 miles per hour, pulling massive GS, and your dominant side is barely firing on half cylinders. What's fascinating, and honestly a little bit terrifying, is how the body masks this. Miller admits that once the sharp pain fades, your brain just stops using that muscle properly to protect you. You start compensating, tucking your elbow, and shifting your weight in weird, inefficient ways just to survive the ride. He calls it putting band-aids on the problem. And frankly, it's the harsh reality of aging in elite sports. While riders like Marc Marquez and Maverick Vinales are currently making headlines with their own high-profile shoulder battles, Miller is quietly grinding through his own rehab, trying to rebuild that lost strength to get his Yamaha V4 competitive again. It's a sobering look at what it really takes to stay on the grid. If you found this dive into the physical toll of MotoGP interesting, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're covering the stories you won't hear on the main broadcast. At the end of the day, it makes you wonder, how much of the championship is actually won on the track, and how much is won in the physical therapy room? Imagine pushing a motorcycle to its absolute limit at 200 miles per hour, all while knowing your own body hasn't fully knitted back together. That is the haunting reality for Yamaha's Alex Rins. We've seen him struggling on the track recently, but a candid new update from the MotoGP paddock reveals the brutal truth. 3 years after his horrific Mugello crash, his shin still hasn't healed. He is literally riding with a tibia that isn't attached to the bone and a screw that shifts with every turn. It puts into perspective just how insane the physical toll of this sport really is. While Rins has spent years claiming his injury wasn't the reason for his dip in form, you have to wonder how much that constant, underlying pain impacts the razor-thin margins needed to win at this level. He calls his scars his tattoos, a testament to a life lived on the edge, but the harsh reality of the paddock is that sentiment rarely buys you a factory seat. With rumors swirling about Jorge Martin and AI, Agura potentially taking over Yamaha's future, Rins is fighting for his professional life. Sitting 18th in the standings, his days as a full-time rider might be numbered, though his deep knowledge of the machinery could make him a powerhouse in a testing role. It is a sobering reminder that for these athletes, the finish line is never guaranteed. If you appreciate the grit it takes to keep racing through this kind of agony, hit that subscribe button to keep up with all our MotoGP coverage. After all, when the dust settles and the cameras turn off, it is the invisible battles that define these riders the most. What do you think? Is it time for Rins to transition into a development role, or does he still have a win left in him? Think you know the future of MotoGP? Think again. While the 2026 season is just finding its rhythm, the real battlefield is already shifting toward the radical 2027 technical overhaul. We are looking at a total reset: 850cc engines, a return to Pirelli rubber, and the total ban of those controversial ride height devices. But is this progress, or are we pushing the riders toward a breaking point? Pedro Acosta, the paddock's most outspoken young gun, isn't convinced that top speed is the real enemy. He's sounding the alarm on cornering speeds, warning that we are reaching a dangerous saturation point where the machines are simply too fast for the physics of the human body. And it's not just the hardware, it's the calendar. With 22 Grands Prix and a constant barrage of sprints, the density of the schedule is absolute madness. Every single day is a high-stakes, high-stress session. Acosta is blunt. This format is going to cut professional careers short because the human brain and body can only stay at 10/10ths for so long before something snaps. Then you have the drama in the pits. Ducati is currently juggling the development of their GP26 while watching their stars, like Alex Marquez, prepare for life after Borgo Panigale. Meanwhile, the Aprilia resurgence is real, leaving Ducati scrambling to maintain their dominance while their own house prepares for a massive 2027 shuffle. And let's talk about the elephant in the room: Yamaha. They are caught in a brutal transition, ditching the classic inline-4 for a risky, unproven V4 engine. It's a gamble aimed at the 2027 regs, but right now, it looks like a step backward. Legends like Ramon Forcada and Carlos Checa are openly skeptical, noting that while the competition is building on winning foundations, Yamaha is essentially trying to build a plane while it's already flying. Even Toprak Razgatlioglu, the pride of the superbike world, is finding the MotoGP learning curve a jagged, painful climb. While some think the move to Pirelli will be his saving grace, experts like Chaz Davies warn that the constant switching between tire manufacturers is actually an anchor, not a life raft. As we head deeper into this season, the big question isn't just who will win the 2026 title, it's which manufacturer will survive the transition to 2027 with their dignity and their riders intact. Are we witnessing the start of a new golden age, or are we over-engineering the soul out of the sport? Drop a comment below and let me know. Is the 2027 rule change the wake-up call MotoGP needs, or is it a disaster in the making? Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the paddock's biggest secrets. Bad news for MotoGP fans and Maverick Vinales himself. The Spaniard has officially been ruled out of this weekend's Spanish Grand Prix in Jerez. It is a tough pill to swallow, especially since this is one of his major home races, but it is clear that his body just isn't ready to push the limits at the professional level yet. If you have been following the grid closely, you know this injury saga has been dragging on since his crash at the German Grand Prix last July. It is a recurring nightmare for any athlete, trying to force a comeback only to realize that long-term health has to take the front seat. Vinales has been incredibly transparent about the decision, calling it disappointing, but acknowledging that his primary focus right now is full rehabilitation to ensure he can compete for the remainder of the season. The target: a return for Le Mans. But the headaches don't stop there for the Red Bull KTM Tech 3 team. Team manager Nicolas Goyan revealed that they couldn't even find a suitable replacement for this round. Why? because their reserve rider, the ever-reliable Paul Espargaro, is also sidelined with an injury of his own. It's a classic case of bad timing that has left the team with no choice but to field just one bike for the Jerez weekend. It's a stark reminder of how brutal this sport can be on the human body. We're wishing both riders a speedy recovery. Do you think the team is making the right call by running only one bike, or should they have scrambled to find an alternative? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates from the paddock. After all, in MotoGP, the only thing more unpredictable than the race result is the durability of the riders themselves.